Hey, Shalom Alaikum, Rakam Kapash from Jim London, giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Sheva Chachvadash. I want to give double honors unto the elders, the apostles of JMS, and Shalom out there to the hopeful expression of truth and all sincerity. Back again with another video. Got this Twitter, uh, you know, this tweet here, right? And, I find it interesting, man, though I can't find any sources of what he's saying. But it's interesting nonetheless because it could very well play out like this. But I wasn't able to find any articles with this President Lula saying what this guy is saying. But yeah, in terms of the MOTB, this is how likely it's gonna go down, man. Once this whole system gets changed into the digital system, and them CBDCs get rolled out, and your money, your cash ain't valid anymore, right? If you ain't on the system, you ain't in the system, i.e., you don't connect yourself to the system, right? You don't become part of the internet of all things, right? You don't take the CHIP, right? Then you're going to be denied access to aid and whatever, whatever it is that, these governments are going to be offering, man. So I ain't going to read this post because, it's got the controversial in it, right? So, you can read that for yourselves, man. But yeah, right? When the MOTB is introduced, okay, only those that have it, right, as we're going to read, okay, are going to be able to get what they need or what they want, all right, which in that time is mostly just going to be about food, right, about eating, because there's a shortage in food and accessibility to food, and it's going to get it's only going to get worse, right? The government's going to take control of all of that and ration that, okay, but you got to be on the government program. Okay, that's government aid, right? The government's going to take control of it. The government are going to be in charge of distributing that. So you have to be on a government system, all right? Which means you're going to have to jump through the massive amount of hoops and hurdles that they do even now. If you want to get government aid, you want to get benefits, and that they ask you 1,000 questions. You know what I mean? You want to get bare personal with your lifestyle and what's going on and whatever. Right, so it's gonna be the same when the CHIP is introduced, MOTB is introduced, right? You're gonna have to jump through these holes, through these hoops, and you're gonna have to take this MOTB. All right, otherwise you're gonna be left out there to rot, all right, to starve to death and whatever, man. So yeah, Revelations 13, and I'm gonna start from 15 here, right? It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, right? You don't want to be a part of this system, okay, which is the image. You don't want to be a part of it. You don't want to get down with what they're telling you to do. As draconian as it sounds, you don't want to get down with it. Okay, well, you can be put to death. You can, die. You can be killed or just die, starve to death, whatever, man. Okay, you wanna protest and rise up against it. Guess what? You can get shot in the forehead. Because they ain't gonna be playing around in that day. Yeah, they ain't gonna be playing around in that day, man. Right, so the Esau ain't got a problem with leaving people to die or putting people to death. Esau's not gonna have a problem with that. He ain't gonna care if you ain't doing what he's telling you to do. Then you can be made obsolete. All right. So verse 16, he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Right. So that's the MOTB right there, the CHIP. That's gonna be introduced into the world real soon. And it's already in parts of the world already. Right, but it's not on a full government program yet. Right, it's not being rolled out just yet. Okay, it's been trialed, but the time's coming soon, right? And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So without it, you can't buy or sell. You ain't gonna be able to get your digital currencies, man, because if you ain't got the CHIP, where are you making your transactions from? That is gonna be a prerequisite, man, that you have to have this thing put inside you, right? Your phone ain't good enough, you know. might lose your phone, right? Someone might steal your phone, right? Hack your phone, or whatever, man. And so they're gonna think of a surefire way. I mean, just look at the Pan-D over the last couple of years, all the problems that we're having with that, man. People making false certificates and all kinds of things, right? So, like, the more for sure fire away. Let's even making any sense right now, is to have you directly linked up to your status. Okay, which we know these C-hips can do for you. All right. And so without it, you're not gonna be able to go and get your rations, and because remember these CBDCs, this digital currency, man, that these governments are in pursuit of right now, is programmable money, right? They can put restrictions on these digital currencies, man, and control what it can and can't be used for, and how long it is valid for, and all this kind of business. So, you know, without it, you're not gonna be able to go and get anything, right? Because like I said, cash ain't gonna be accepted no more. Okay, if that, even if it was worth anything, right, it's not going to be accepted. Right, you're going to be given your set amount of whatever it is that you can obtain with the CBDCs, and and you're going to get what you have been told you can get. Okay, but without that C-hip, you ain't getting a damn thing. All right, so that's what supposedly this guy is saying, the president of Brazil or whatever, apparently, right? But even if it's not, even if he never said these things, right? Like I said, that is likely to play out when the MOTB comes. Okay, he's gonna restrict you access to aid. All right. In 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 19, a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. Great tribulation is coming, man. Right, and there's gonna be a lack of food, lack of supplies, right, and people are gonna be losing their minds. All right. People are going to be losing their minds. Let me read up, actually. Right. Verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men. Okay, people are losing their minds, man. And these are the type of people that are going to get put to death. Right? They're those that want to rise up against the government, don't want to be down with the system. Well, guess what? Martial law is going to come for you, man. Okay? I.e., man, no law. There ain't going to be no process, no due process or whatever. If you're causing the problem, okay, they're legally allowed to put you down. It's martial law. All right, there is no law, right? It's just the rule of the government. That's it. you know. So if they want to put down dissenters, they can. All right, you don't want to get down because obviously you got those resistances out there already. You got people that are out there protesting that. You got people that are privy to the fact that the government want to hit them. You got people privy to that, man. So they're gonna fight and resist, even though it's not in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. So ultimately, they're still gonna be put down, and for no good reason. But let's say you're gonna have them out there causing issues with the government. So yeah, like I read in Revelations 13, 13 and 15, they can, they should be killed. But anyway, he says, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another, they shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. Okay, this is all coming real soon, man. I know people don't seem to think that, that this scenario, this crazy scenario that we talk about in the scriptures, seems like a way off here in somewhere like the UK or certain places in the world. But other places in the world is already like that, by the way. Some men are struggling out here, going crazy over the governments and for the fact that they ain't got much food and whatever. Remember Venezuela? Like, that shit been going on for ages now, right? But people here in these types of countries like the UK and Europe and whatever, man, they don't think that their country is ever going to end up like that. All right? But we're telling you, man, it will. Okay? And it's just a matter of time. All right? So a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread. Right? There's going to be a real food problem. And that's why the government's going to have to take hold and take control of the food supply. Right? And then you have to enroll on the government scheme, much like the rationing book system that they had in, was it World War One or World War Two or whatever, whichever one it was, or both. You have to enroll on the scheme. Okay, make sure you got your book, right? Make sure you get your stamps, right? But we said we're not going to be using books and stamps in this time, in this era, right? It's all going to be digital based, digitized, right? And positive ID, this positive verification stuff, man, is getting more and more prominent, right? They're gonna want you to prove who you are, right? And like I said, the most surest way is to have you have that identification inside you, all right? Because other stuff can be forged and whatever, all right? So that's how you have to enroll. You have to come and get your CHIP, get all your data, put on it, and you'll be tracked and traced and whatever, right? They're gonna monitor you, gonna see everything that that you be doing, and that's how they're gonna verify you, you know. And you're allowed to go, you get your credit, whatever your digital currency, whatever they're gonna call it, and yeah, you're gonna, supposedly gonna get what you've been, you know, allowed to get, your allowance, your rationings, if it's available, right? Because this is the thing, right? He's still gonna make it sound like you do this thing where you take his MOTB, that you're gonna have access to food and water and medical supplies and whatever, man, albeit in small amounts. But he's gonna make it sound like that everybody can get it, right? That is not gonna be the case, man. He's gonna sell you that pipe dream, but ultimately, even if you do it, it doesn't guarantee you anything. Okay, all it guarantees you is fire. Judgment. That's what it does guarantee you. It doesn't guarantee you food, right? As we know, suppliers can run out quick, and distribution issues and whatever can mess up everything, man. And some people won't get to eat anything. you know. So that's the time we're heading into, man. Uh, right. So Philippians chapter 3 verse 19 says, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, whose glory is in their shame, and who mind earthly things, right? You're going to be such in a carnal space. The majority of these people out there are going to be in a carnal mindset, right? That they're not going to have faith in spiritual things, right? Even you got these bunch of Christians out there that call themselves believing, even these Israelites, because these Israelites are preparing for themselves to take the C hit because they don't believe it's the MOTB, because they don't believe spiritual, right? But you're going to be in such a carnal space, man, that you're going to, you're going to seek salvation in carnal things. And Esau is going to be saying like, oh, just do this and we can get you food and whatever. Because that's, the physical. You can see oh, Esau got food, even though, or whatever. So you're going to want to go chase after Esau, put your trust in him that he can be able to keep you alive in these terrible times, man. When what you're supposed to be doing is put your trust in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, that he can provide for you in a time of trouble. Esau's not our God. Right? Esau is not our God, man, but you're going to be acting like he is in that time because you're going to be in a carnal space. Right? We're going to rely upon Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, Lord willing, right, in that time of trouble. Okay, and refuse his mark. Right? And the Lord will provide a way for us to survive. But what it shows you that these people are carnal out here, and the God's their belly, man. Whoever can feed them, whoever can satisfy their needs is who they're following. Man, I cast away all kind of idols, man, and follow Esau, and that's what Esau wants. That's what Esau wants, man. He wants to be worshipped as God. So all these people, all these different ideologies and philosophies and that, no matter what idol they were serving, man, they'll quickly put that in the background in order to to fill their stomachs, right? And they'll bow down to Esau and take his sea hip and enslave themselves to him, right? Just for the sake of eating. All right. This is Genesis chapter 47, verse 15. Story out of Egypt, right, during the 7 years of famine. And it says here, and when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all the Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, give us food, right? For why should we die in thy presence? Right, because of the lack of bread, right? And so the people are going to protest to the governments in the world, right? Because your money's failing, inflation, low wages, your money's being devalued every day, and you can't afford the things that you used to be able to, right? Because of the effect of the black horse, right? The inflation and that is gonna put it out of reach. The price is gonna put it out of reach to you, and so I said the government gonna have to come and step in and for to distribute the resources evenly, so that everybody can quote unquote eat. That's what's gonna be said. That's what it was last time. All right, so you're gonna go to them and say, look, give us bread. Why should we die? And so the government gonna, make a way for you to get access to that, and that way is, like I said, is the MOTB, the CHIP. You take this and we put you on this, we put you on the government aid and whatever, that's what it is, right? It says, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. And Joseph said, give your cattle, and I will give you for your cattle if money fail. Right, other things you have to trade with, right? But in this time and age, most people don't have anything of any value, really. Everyone's in debt, you know what I mean, and a lot of people don't own anything, and the WEF are making that a thing. Like, they don't want you to own anything. So everything that's happening right now is to take things away from you and making you forfeit on your debts and all this kind of stuff, make you go bankrupt and lose this house, lose that car, lose anything of wealth. We don't have any land. Majority of people don't have any land, so we don't, or cattle. We haven't got anything else but this stupid fiat currency that's in, or digital numbers that are in these bank accounts, man. We don't have anything, right? So you might as well skip all of this, right? You ain't got that. Yeah, they ain't gonna give you an opportunity to do any of that, all right? Verse 17, and they brought their cattle unto Joseph, and Joseph gave them bread in exchange for horses, and for the flocks, and for the cattle of the herds, and for the asses, and he fed them with bread for all their cattle for that year. And I just had a thought, like, so if they were starving, why didn't they just eat the flocks and that kind of stuff, right? Right, but it's like much like today, right? In this current climate, man, people are killing their cattle and stuff because they can't afford to feed them. You know what I'm saying? They can't afford to feed them, man. And I said that's just putting extra pressure on the world right now for supply. You know, couldn't afford to feed them, would have been dropping dead. Otherwise, they just would have been there. Anyway, this is when that year was ended, they came unto him the second year and said unto him, we will not hide it from my lord, how that our money is spent. My lord also have our herds of cattle. There is aught left or nothing left in the sight of my lord, but our bodies and our lands. Right, and that's all you have right now. Realistically, for the most part, most people already got their bodies, man. Forget that we ain't got no land, but just our bodies. That's what we got ourselves, our labor, right, or our obedience, right. That's all. That's we have available to offer. So when there's no food, that's exactly what you're gonna do. You're gonna give yourself up to, the government program, right? You're gonna take the mark, right? Take the MOTB because you want to save. You thinking you're saving your lives, that you can weather this storm. You ain't gonna weather no storm, man. Right? Because anybody that takes the MOTB, man, is guaranteed death. Guaranteed. All right. So wherefore shall we die before thine eyes, before we and our land, buy us and our land for bread? Okay, we'll exchange ourselves for food. Right, and we will and we and our land will be servants. So you're gonna make yourself servants. You're gonna submit to the new system. That's what it means to worship, to bow down to. You're gonna accept it, right? To reverence it, right? So you're gonna sell yourselves to that system, to the image of the beast, right? So buy us and our land for bread, and we and our land will be servants unto Pharaoh. Give us seed that we may live and not die. That's what you're gonna be begging Esau, because you don't believe in the Lord, that the land be not desolate. And Joseph bought all the land of Egypt for Pharaoh, for the Egyptians. So for the Egyptians sold every man his field, because of the famine prevailed over them. Okay, and that's what's again, it's going to prevail over the people. This famine that's coming. So the land became Pharaoh's. All right. And we'll close up on this. It's Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 48, right? And this is a curse that was really placed upon the Israelites for transgressing the law, statutes, commandments of the Heavenly Father, right? But this is essentially what Esau is the environment or the situation Esau's created in the whole earth right now. Right? So therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. That's what Esau's creating right now. He doesn't want you to have anything, right? He wants you completely dependent on the system, completely dependent on him. Like, you have to go to beg to him for everything, man. Okay, you have to conscribe, I think that's the correct word, right, to his system and do everything that's been told of you. And we said we've got systems like that in place in the world already. Check out China and their social credit score system, that you can't do things or you can't have certain things, and if you ain't a reputable member of society in their eyes, you know what I'm saying? You didn't get the blue ticket and all that kind of business, right? You're not saying nothing bad about the government. You get extra points for that. Right? You just, you're a government patsy. You just, the government's great. Yeah, they're here to save us. All that shit, right? Make sure you get fed that week. Make sure you post lots of posts, man. Lots of likes for the government, and you can get fed. But yeah, you've got systems like that working already, man. And they're, like I said, they're just, elite have got these systems in place, man, all over the world, doing different things to see how they're operating, man. And China, man, these guys are just zombies. You know what I mean? They're just most of them are just, they're down with it. They think it's cool. They think it's right. They think it's good. Yeah. Well, when the whole world becomes like that, man, we're gonna see how Esau, how Esau really rolls. How these elites really roll, man, and how totalitarian they're gonna be. But he's creating this situation for us to be completely dependent on him. Right, everything comes from him, so you have to go to him for all things. Right, once he's taken everything from you, and digitized everything and tokenized everything, man. It's just, what I mean? You ain't gonna have. It's gonna be so far up your ass, man. In your business, it's gonna be unreal. It says and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck, right? And this yoke of iron, well, we've already been through slavery, so we've seen the iron yokes that Esau put upon us, right? But the new yoke that he's trying to put upon everybody is the C hip, okay, the MOTB, right? And it's going to have everybody linked to the system, a digital yoke, all right? It says, and he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee, until he's got his agenda achieved, man. And like I said, he have everybody enslaved. Okay, that's a form of destruction. To be enslaved is a form of destruction. And to be physically destroyed too. And mentally destroyed. Right, we all know that, well, we used to know, it's not up anymore, but the George Guidestones, man, and what it said, what the ideas of the elites are of maintaining the population below 500 million, well, that's a physical destruction that has to take place, right? you know, and Esau got a various amount of ways to bring that down. You know, ask Mr. William Gates, you know, they got methods, right? And you know, we've got all things going on the earth right now. Earthquakes, 35,000 dead in Turkey right now. We've got the World War III coming, man. That's gonna take people out. All right. And again, it's something that's, you know, part of the elite's plans, but ultimately it's the Heavenly Father's plans that's really destroying all these people. Because there will be a reduction in population for sure. Right. The Most High definitely gonna do that. Not because the world's overpopulated. They don't have to do with that. Nothing to do with it at all. They'll also make you believe it's, you know, because of the climate and, you know, we can't support this many people and there's not enough supplies and all this bollocks, right? It ain't because of any of that, man. But the world's wickedness is why people are going to be destroyed. Okay, yeah, the Most High is going to bring judgment against the earth, man. And a lot of people are going to be put to death, right? So there will be a reduction in the population, man. It will come back at some point, you know? But anyway, that's all I wanted to speak on that. So Lord, when this is edifying, and I'll catch you brothers and sisters on the next video, man. So till next time, I say shalom.